Hi guys, thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. For those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Catherine and I tell true stories. Due to the demand in one of my videos in the comment section, some people want to know about ghosts. Do they exist or don't they exist? Well, I can say I don't know because I myself have never met one. I've only seen them in the movies, but I've never experienced any. As you know, a ghost is an apparition of a dead person appearing to the living. You died, and then you appear in form of some transparent thing that looks like the person who died. Can I say it's a soul? Well, some people say they don't exist because when somebody dies, somebody goes either to hell, to heaven, purgatory, limbo. That's what Christians believe. But others believe that these apparitions of the people who are not ready to move to the next world hang around. They have refused to go for some reason. They are scared. So they hang around. And if they were bad people, then they will continue to do their harm in form of an apparition. Others believe that some people are just not ready to die. They can't believe it. Anyway, nobody is ready to die. Nobody wants to anyway, no matter how they say they're not scared of. Everybody is scared. Let's face reality here. And so some people, when they die, they are just not ready. And so they refuse to leave the world. And some people believe that these are now the apparitions, the ghosts. Some are good and some are bad. That's what people believe. They're just hanging around. They don't want to leave, either to go to hell, to heaven, to purgatory, or to limbo. They're just hanging around. Now, as I said, I don't know about their existence, but what I can do is I can give you the stories from the people who have experienced them firsthand. We don't know whether they created the stories or they are real. Now, I will start with the stories from Europe by the lady called Jenny Ramirez. Jenny Ramirez's husband was suffering from cancer, and during his last 2 weeks of living, she never left his side of the bed, so she says. And when he passed away, her heart was torn to millions of pieces, so she believes. And then one day, when she was coming from her shower and entered her bedroom, she says her camera captured her husband. Her husband knew that that camera was there because she was a vlogger, and so he decided to appear to her through her camera, so she says. And when she saw his apparition in the camera, she felt a sense of comfort. She felt his energy. It was as if he was there. It was as if he was there in the room. That is the story of Jenny Ramirez. Then we have the story of Jane Wilson. Jane Wilson's son died of overdosing. And Jane Wilson and her son were very close. So she felt so shattered that she could no longer see her son. And one day when she was brushing her teeth in her shower, she felt a rubbing on the lower back, on her lower back, like someone trying to comfort her. It was so real, as in you can feel the hand of somebody comforting me. This feeling was exactly the feeling that her son used to give her when he was still alive and when she was feeling down. The same tapping, rubbing of her lower back that her son used to give was the same rubbing that she felt that night in her shower. And she believed that her son was indeed present, trying to comfort her. She did not see her, she did not see him, but she believed that indeed that was her son comforting her, like he used to when she was still alive. Then we have John Veitch. John Veitch is now a CEO. John Veitch, when he was 12 years old, he was lying on the couch one night. His mother was on a rocking chair, deep asleep, when he suddenly felt somebody touch the back of his neck. He turned, thinking it's his mother, but lo, it wasn't his mother. It was an old looking lady between the age of 55 and 60, wearing old fashioned glasses, staring at him. And through her, he could see his mother still deep asleep, rocking. And so he knew this is what? Because when you see it for the first time, you will not know what it is, a ghost or what. So what he knew is, this is what? He screamed, and his mother woke up, told him, it's all okay, you need to go and sleep, you're dreaming on your bed. But when he went back, he went to sleep. It was raining very heavily. And when lightning struck through the light of the lightning, he saw the same old lady staring at him and then vanished. The next morning, he told his mom again. And you know what his mom told him? Don't worry. I experienced the same thing, only that for me, she moves tables and leaves all the kitchen cupboards open. That was the story of John Vage. Then we have the story of Emir Cohen. Emir Cohen. Now these are the bad ones. Elmer Cohen rather, went to visit his dad one time. And his dad gave him the guest room to sleep in. When he was deep asleep, he felt somebody grabbing his privates. And he woke up startled, and there was no one. And he really believed there was indeed somebody who touched his privates, pulled them. The next morning, he told his dad his experience. And the dad told him, she doesn't want you there. That's what it means. It means you have to move to another room. Well, he did not move to the other room. He moved to another house. He moved to another house. He moved to a Victorian house. These are wooden, big houses. Most of them are wood anyway, and they're very large, the Victorian houses. And he was staying there alone. One funny thing is that he could smell a perfume that was not his. Yet he had no guest at that time, but there was this same perfume that used to smell all the time he walks into his Victorian house. One day, He was lying on his couch, relaxing, and he felt something move his feet and something sit down. You know, you're lying on the couch and someone comes and moves your feet and you feel someone sitting, but the thing is, you cannot see the person and you are not dreaming. What was that? I leave it to you. I don't know whether they were creating stories, looking for attention, or their stories were real. Of course, you know what he did. He moved out of the Victorian house. But the thing is, it says that they attach themselves on someone. So even if you move, they will move with you. So this thing that cropped his private in his dad's house must have followed him to his Victorian house. Now, let's come to Africa stories. This is right in a town in the Rift Valley called Eldoret. There is a house in a place called West Indies. West Indies was mostly occupied by Indians. Most of them are still there at the moment anyway. A lot of Indians stay there. There is this house that nobody stays in for more than 2 weeks. Reason? On the second week of staying, they get canned, lashed by some unknown entity. They don't see it, but they feel the lashes. So these things, they don't just appear in form of an apparition. They appear in form of action as well. You don't have to see me, but I can perform some action on you. So this house is vacant up to now. A very beautiful house. We moved to Nairobi. In a house, in an estate called Metropolitan, there lived one witch who died. I think I mentioned this in one of my stories of the witches. The guy died, and the guy was so huge normally, he couldn't pass through the door, so all his doors were adjusted to his size. And the house was left vacant. Whoever used to move into that house will not stay for more than a week. Reason? They will find their breakfast prepared. You'll say, why would you mind if you find your breakfast prepared? If you find your house cleaned? Reason? It's done by an unknown entity. Well, who would love to stay there? You have your breakfast prepared, the house cleaned, but you don't know who does it. And you know you're all not in the house when it's done. Or you're all sleeping when it's done. Only to smell some fresh eggs in your lobby, in your dining, when you wake up and you did not hear them being made. Well, at the coast of Kenya is where I hear they actually appear. And normally the western part, the coastal part of Kenya is typically occupied by Arabic people, the Muslims. And so normally when they appear covered in, we call it buibui, or abayas. You don't know who it is. But if you open, there is nothing inside. It is just an empty abaya just standing there. So, with that, I leave it to you to decide whether they exist or they don't exist. On my part, I think I'd rather meet a ghost at night than during the day at around lunchtime, which is more scary. So if you like my content, like, share, and subscribe. Ciao!